Good morning, children. Today in English literature, take out your English book and turn to page 2. On page 2, you have the story Polly Helps a Friend. Yesterday, I read the story for you. Today, I'm going to explain the same story to you. So, let me begin. Polly came to the park with her mother. She ran to the silver slide she loved. As you know, Polly is the little girl in the story. She came to the park with her mother and then she ran to the silver slide because she loved to play on the slide. The slide was silver in color. Polly climbed the endless steps and slid down faster and faster. On her 12th trip, she heard a groan. Hearing it, Polly jumped off the slide and looked around. Now, Polly, she climbed the endless steps and she slid down faster and faster. On her 12th trip, trip means in the 12th turn. The 12th time she went on the slide, she heard a groan. Now, groan is a low sound made in pain. Okay, the slide was in pain. Hearing it, Polly jumped off the slide and looked around. Hearing the low sound that was made in pain, Polly jumped off the slide and she looked around. She did not know from where the sound was coming. Thank you for getting off. I'm so tired and my back hurts badly today, said a voice. Now, she heard somebody saying, Thank you for getting off. I'm so tired and my back hurts. Then she turned, and two very sad eyes stared back at her. It was the slide talking. Now, when she looked around, it was the slide talking. The slide had two very sad eyes that were looking at her. Children, jump on me and slide down my back at great speed. I am too old and weary to take it, said a giant mouth just below the teary eyes. So, this is what the slide had to say. Children, jump on me and slide down my back at great speed. Children did not take care of the slide. They were jumping on the slide and they were sliding at great speed. And the slide said that it was too old and weary to take it, said a giant mouth just below the teary eyes. So below the eyes, the slide had a mouth. The mouth spoke and the eyes were full of tears. The slide pulled out a large handkerchief and started crying. I love children, but if I don't get some rest, I will soon become useless. I will be thrown into the junk heap. Now the slide pulled out a large handkerchief and started crying. And it said, I love children, but I don't get some rest. And if I don't get some rest, I will become useless one day. And when I become useless, I will be thrown into the junk heap. Junk heap means a place where rubbish is thrown. So it will not be needed anymore. The slide will not be needed anymore and it will be thrown into the junk heap. Polly was quiet for some time. Then she said, Don't worry, I will help you. So Polly told the slide not to worry because she was going to help it. Right then, she saw two men painting a bench. She thought, people will now have to wait for a few days to sit on that. Now, in the park, she saw two men. They were painting a bench. Then, when she saw the two men painting the bench, an idea struck. And she said, when people will have to wait for a few days before they can sit on that bench, because that bench has been painted and they cannot sit on the wet paint. Then she yelled, I've got it. Yelled means shouted loudly. She shouted loudly because she had got an idea by seeing the two men painting the bench. So she got an idea from it. She opened her bag and took out a red crayon and a sheet of paper. She wrote something on it. Then she stuck the sheet on the slide. Now, when she got the idea, then she opened a bag, she took out a sheet of paper and a red crayon and she wrote something on it, and then she stuck the sheet on the slide. Just then, Mother called. Don't worry, Polly told her friend as she ran off. Now you can rest and feel better. Now, when Polly was writing on the sheet of paper, Mother called her, and before leaving the park, she told the slide not to worry. Now you can rest and feel better. And she left the park. Now, Mother asked Polly, what were you doing there? Mummy wanted to know. Polly's mother wanted to know what she was doing over there. So Polly answered, a good thing, answered Polly. Polly said, I did a very good thing. As they left, they heard a boy asking, Mummy, why can't I go on the slide? Now, just as they were leaving, there was a boy who had come in the park, and that boy was saying, Mummy, why can't I go on the slide? Why can't I play on the slide? His mother replied, you must stay off the slide for a few days, dear. The sign says wet paint. Polly smiled. Now that little boy's mother said, you cannot play on the slide. You must keep away from the slide for a few days because there is a sign on the slide. It's written wet paint. When the slide is painted, you cannot play on the slide. And hearing the mother and the boy's conversation, Polly just smiled. And this is the good thing that she had done that day. She had helped her friend because her friend, the slide was too weary and tired. It could not take the load. So this is the story of Polly helping her friend, the slide.